Behind the glossy veneer of Hollywood stardom lies a painful reality many celebrities privately face. Actress Jill Ireland lived a complex existence full of ambition, fame, controversy, fear, and tragedy. Join Factsverse as we examine the profound story of Jill Ireland, the star-crossed 1940s starlet whose real-life triumphs and disasters played out like a gripping movie drama. Jill Ireland's acting origins. Jill Dorothy Ireland was born in London, April 24, 1936. Her father worked as a wine importer. She spent her early childhood in the Hounslow area west of London, attending Chatsworth Junior School, where friends described her as sociable, energetic, and involved in various plays and activities. Ireland started on an acting career in her late teens. She began with minor, uncredited roles in movies like 1955's Simon and Laura and 1956's Three Men in a Boat. One of her earliest credited roles was a single-scene part as the receptionist in The Big Money in 1956. Over the next few years, she continued finding bit parts and small supporting roles in British films and TV shows. In 1959, she got the chance to play a more substantial part as the lead female role in the thriller The Desperate Man. Ireland seemed positioned for wider success, but her big break came in 1958 when she landed the key role of Frankie in the drama Hell Drivers. On the set, she met Scottish actor David McCallum, who she soon began a relationship with. After a brief courtship, the pair married in 1957 when Ireland was 21. The relationship thrust her further into the limelight of the British press. Now viewed as an up-and-coming starlet and star David McCallum's wife, interest in Ireland grew. Over the first half of the 60s, she balanced establishing a family. She had 2 sons with McCallum by 62, while continuing to act. She earned praise for her performance in Twice Round the Daffodils. On American television, she achieved wider notice, appearing in 5 episodes of the popular show The Man from U.N.C.L.E. By the mid-60s, 30-year-old Ireland had built up a reputation as a talented and increasingly prominent actress on the verge of wider fame. A fateful on-set romance. Her picture-perfect marriage to fellow actor David McCallum soon soured. Constant separation strained their relationship as both focused on ambitious career goals. Cracks formed behind the scenes while the couple put on a happy public face. In 1963, she secured a minor part in the WW2 escape drama The Great Escape. It was on this set that she first met steely-eyed American actor Charles Bronson. At the time, Bronson was married to his wife, Harriet. But according to director John Sturgis, Bronson became utterly enamored of Jill, entranced by her beauty and spirited personality. As filming continued, Bronson made no secret of his infatuation around the cast and crew. One account claims he boldly told McCallum, "I'm going to marry your wife." Gossip-worthy drama aside, shooting wrapped without incident. Soon after, however, rumors swirled of an Ireland-Bronson affair. By 1964, the McCallum marriage decayed beyond salvation. After nearly a decade together, they finalized their divorce in 1967. Now free from marital obligations, Ireland and Bronson quickly married the following year. The controversial union spawned outrage given the circumstances. Former colleagues like Telly Savalas criticized Ireland's conduct. The press painted her as a manipulative homewrecker. Ironically, Bronson himself had initiated divorce proceedings from his own wife, Harriet Holden, in 1965. This suggests that regardless of who seduced who, cracks had already plagued both marriages. Still, Ireland unfairly endured the brunt of public scorn. Over the years, McCallum tempered his stance. He maintained Jill and Charlie's relationship didn't fully bloom until after both split from their previous spouses. Though the love triangle caused real pain, McCallum chose to take the high road. Meanwhile, Jill wed herself to Bronson in both marriage and business. She frequently co-starred with Charles in action films over the next 15 years. They melded their families into a Brady Bunch-style clan. Staring into the abyss. In 1984, Ireland underwent a routine mammogram that detected an abnormality. Further tests confirmed a shocking diagnosis: breast cancer. Still in her 40s, she endured a mastectomy to stop the cancer's spread. The battlefield changed from Hollywood sound stages to hospital waiting rooms. She tackled aggressive radiation and chemotherapy with Bronson by her side. By 1986, she seemed to turn a corner. With Ireland's cancer in remission, she and Bronson enjoyed a hard-won return to normalcy. Ever the survivor, Jill focused her experience into something positive. She published an autobiographical book in 1987 chronicling her inspirational cancer fight, detailing the mastectomy's emotional and physical toll. Life Wish aimed to encourage others battling the disease. Newly minted as a cancer survivor spokesperson, Ireland toured giving motivational speeches. She testified before Congress on issues like medical costs and insurance. Meeting with First Lady Nancy Reagan in 1988, Ireland's efforts won recognition from President Ronald Reagan. Basking in accolades, life looked promising again. Both Ireland's acting career and pet cause gained momentum throughout the late 80s. But heartbreaking news arrived. A routine 1989 checkup revealed Jill's breast cancer had returned with a vengeance. This time, the ruthless disease had metastasized into her lungs and bones. Barely over 50 years old, Ireland faced a 3-year death sentence. Still, she resisted despair. Summoning her trademark grit, she stared down cancer again. Ensconced in their Malibu mansion, Charles remained anchored at his wife's side. As she endured experimental treatments, he took charge of domestic duties. She advocated for cancer patients between filming movie scenes. At night, Bronson massaged her feet while discussing their children, grateful for the time they had left. The final curtain calls. As the late 1980s saw Jill defiantly battling the cancer in her body, she somehow found the energy to advocate for political causes between treatments. Ever the trooper, Ireland even continued acting with Bronson despite dire health straits. By 1990, the breast cancer had spread everywhere. Now housebound and increasingly feeble, she faded fast as her mid-50s approached. She dwelled on bittersweet memories, reminiscing for hours with Charles about their children, marveling about how 5 kids, joined by happenstance, had bonded into a real family. That clan gathered around in May of 1990 to bid farewell as she lost her final battle. Just past 11 a.m. on May 18th, Jill Ireland passed away at 54 years old in her Malibu home. Bronson stoically announced his wife and co-star of 25 films had, quote, gone to the big studio in the sky. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Jill Ireland? Let us know in the comments section below.